Howdy, partners. It's Mr. Bruce with the book of the day. Before we start, let's keep our eyes watching, ears listening, voices quiet, body calm. Today, back to the Curious George series. We all seem to love Curious George. Today is a story of Curious George and the dinosaur. It looks like a dinosaur bones, but we'll see. Jimmy's class was taking a field trip to the museum, and George, Curious George, was going along. Because if you're going to the museum, always bring a monkey. "We'd like to have you, George," said the teacher, "but don't get into trouble this time." At the museum, the teacher began to explain one of the displays. "These rocks are millions of years old." The students weren't listening. They were talking to each other like we do sometimes here. One student said, "This is boring." "It sure is," said another. "Is it lunchtime yet?" Oh. George didn't find it interesting either. He wandered off by himself. Uh-oh. When Curious George goes off by himself, sometimes trouble ensues. But in the next room, George saw something that was very interesting. It was a huge skeleton with a long tail. What a giant dinosaur that must have been. It was too much for George to resist. He jumped over the rope and he sat on the tail. There's the guard, but he was talking to the mother and the child and didn't see him jump on the dinosaur. He climbed down the tail, and then he climbed up the tail, and he climbed right up there until he reached the skeleton's head and he sat on it. Just then, the teacher and the class came into the room. Look, they're all coming into the room. "Look at that dinosaur," said Jimmy. "And look at George," he shouted. "Ride him, George," said the girl. The guards heard the noise. They came running in. "Get down from there," one of them ordered. "I'm going to get the director," said the other. "You can't get up on that dinosaur." Uh-oh. George was scared. He knew he was in trouble. "Is that how we rode dinosaurs in the old days?" the girl asked the teacher. "Well, no," he said. "Tell us more about dinosaurs," some of the boys said. George was curious. He heard him, but he didn't know what a dinosaur was. "Well," the teacher said, "the earth was once full of huge, huge creatures like these dinosaurs." Suddenly, the director of the museum came charging in. "What's all this about a monkey riding a dinosaur?" "Guards, get that monkey down before he causes any damages," the director said. He did not sound happy. Poor George. He was on top of a dinosaur, and as you all know, on top of a dinosaur, there's no place to hide. "Just a moment," said Mr. Chauncey. "George was a great help to me. He helped me get all the children interested in science and dinosaurs." "We wouldn't have listened," said the boy. "It's so interesting now. I want to come back again," said the girl. "Well," the director said, "I can see that our dinosaur is not damaged, so I guess we can forgive George this one time." "Come on down, George. You're not in trouble," he called. Bink. George is down. "Hooray!" the students shouted. The teacher said, "I have to thank you for making this class interesting, George. But one thing, next time, promise not to ride the dinosaur." When the bus stopped in front of George's house, there he is, his owner, the man with the yellow hat, was waiting. "I'm glad to see you, George," he said. "I hope you kept out of trouble today." Right, the end. George always finds trouble. So here's my question they never answer in these books, but maybe you know. They always talk about the man who owns Curious George, the man with the yellow hat, but no one knows his name. Can you think of a good name for the man with the yellow hat? I'll check back with you the next time we have a Curious George book. Until then, be good, keep washing your hands, be good for mom and dad, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.